Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are going to play Deck the TBR for November. If you haven't seen my last video, we'll take these deck of cards and depending on which card we pull, we will get a prompt. Face cards or special cards like Ace, King, Queen, Jack, and Joker have a special game or action with it. But without further ado, let's shuffle these cards and pull the first prompt. So I am filming this a bit early. It is October 15th right now. I'm filming this a bit early because I am quite busy for the end of this month and beginning of next month. So I wanted to make sure that I had this video filmed. As of right now, I have only read one book on my October TBR and I'm about to start a second. So we'll see how much I can actually complete in the second half of the month. But anyways, let's pull our first prompt card. And it is a King of Spades. For a king, we will play the card game War. I'll pick two books and we will decide which book wins based on whichever book pulls the higher card. So first, let me pick two books that I'm just interested to read. Okay, so the two books that I have, one is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. This is about a teenager who wants to become a rapper. She goes viral in a bad way and finds herself in the middle of controversy. This has been on my TBR for a while. I've read one other book by Angie Thomas, The Hate You Give, and I really enjoyed it. And this will come in handy when it comes to my Herkyed prompts. So this I really want to put on the TBR. And then the other book that I want to put on the TBR is kind of a series. It's the Heartstopper series, book 1 specifically. I want to put this on the TBR because this just feels really light, very easy. I tend to read less in November, December, like towards the end of the year. I guess I just like always burn out by the end of the year and kind of don't read as much. And so I really want to make sure I have some easier books on my TBR so that I can keep my reading up and still be able to complete Herkyed prompts. So now we will pull to see which book gets chosen. Okay, so first we'll pull for Heartstopper. And it has an 8, and On the Come Up is a 4. So that means Heartstopper, 8 is bigger than 4, so Heartstopper is the first book on our TBR. I think I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, but we'll probably pull 5 prompts again. I think that's a good number. Even if I don't finish, I am still reading things outside of the TBR. So prompt number 2 is the 2 of Diamonds. So 2 of Diamonds, oh man. 2 of Diamonds is screen adaptation. We had this prompt last month. Let's see if I can find something to put on this. Okay, other than some like classic books like To Kill a Mockingbird and Lord of the Flies, which I'm not really in the mood for reading, we have 2 books that I believe have a screen adaptation. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This is a Netflix series, and then Project Hail Mary is being turned into a movie released next year. I'm honestly really nervous to read both of these, but I think I'm going to put I think I'm going to put Anxious People on the TBR. I was debating doing Project Hail Mary because I've seen so many videos of people reading it, and I was just talking about this book with my partner, but for some reason my brain is telling me to go with Anxious People, so Anxious People is on the TBR. Prompt number 3 is the Four of Spades. Four of Spades is a genre you don't read. I tend to read contemporary general fiction, romance, fantasy. Those are the genres I gravitate towards the most. So something definitely outside of my genre is in fact Project Hail Mary. So you know what? I was struggling to decide between the two, so let's just put this on the TBR. Book number 3 is Project Hail Mary. 2 more. It's the Jack of Hearts. Okay, so we had a Jack last time. A Jack means to try again. This means that I have to choose a book to unhaul for my TBR and then draw another prompt. So first, to choose a book to unhaul, I am going to unhaul Games Untold by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Last TBR video for October, I chose to unhaul the other Inheritance Games universe book that I had. As I mentioned last month, this series just doesn't interest me anymore. I really loved the Inheritance Games when I was first getting back into reading, but now I'm just not really that interested in this anymore. So I think I'll unhaul the Games Untold. To try again, we have the Three of Hearts. The Three of Hearts is did I shuffle these at all? Okay, this is like the third prompt that I've had the same card from last time, so I'm gonna shuffle this again. Because why am I getting the same freaking prompts? There are 53 prompts I could be getting. 53 cards I could be getting. Why am I pulling the exact same cards? Okay, let's try this again. The 4th prompt to try again for this Jack is... Shut the fuck up. 4th prompt to try again is the Joker. Oh God. What have I done? Okay, so the Joker, I really regret this now. Oh gosh. The Joker means that I have to add a series to my TBR. If you guys don't know, I really only like reading series back to back. I have a hard time reading books in between books in a series. I think it ruins the immersion, and I always tend to forget our characters and our universe when I put books in between. So now we have two series on the TBR. Let's see. The first series that I was drawn to is the Five Broken Blades trilogy. I've heard a decent amount about this series. I believe it's about like a group of assassins who don't really know each other or trust each other, having to work together to murder like the emperor or king of their realm. But I just got book 3 a couple months ago. So this is now a completed set. I've been dying to read these. The sprayed edges are gorgeous. So we are going to put 5 Broken Blades on the TBR. Oh man. Maybe I should have stuck with the 3 of Hearts. The last prompt on our TBR is the 5 of Spades. 5 of Spades is a potential 5 stars. This is a hard prompt for me because I am very, very picky with my 5 stars. I don't like going into a book thinking that I'm going to give it 5 stars because books tend not to live up to that expectation. I do have some ebooks on my tablet, so let me see if any of those have a potential 5 stars. I think I'm gonna go with The Book of Unknown Americans. Someone that I know told me that they really loved this book, that this is the book that got them into reading. They cried during it. Looking at a quick synopsis, this book is about the immigrant experience, and it focuses on some teenagers of immigrants and kind of portraying the challenges of people coming from Latin America into the US. It's supposedly really good, and I love stories that can make me cry. I think that sad stories like that are more likely to be rated 5 stars by me. So that is going to be our 5th and final book from the deck of TBR. On top of that, I will be adding 2 other books for my Herkiad prompts. For Herkiad, we have to read a new release, and my goal is to read my new releases within the month that they were released. So for my November release, I will be reading Influence by R.H. Grund. This is a horror book that will be released on November 1st. And then there's also a Heritage Month's prompt, and likewise, I want to read the book I use for this prompt within the month of that Heritage Month. So for November, the Heritage Month is Indigenous Peoples Month. I'm not really sure which book I will be reading yet. It depends on what I can get access to, but some of the ones on my radar are Buffalo Hunter Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones, and then there's a rom-com called The Truth According to Ember by Danica Neva that's on my radar. If you have any recommendations for books by Indigenous people, about Indigenous people, please leave them in the comments below. But with that, let's go through the TBR one last time. Let's do a quick recap. So for the first prompt, we rolled a King of Spades and played TBR War, and the Heartstopper series won with an 8. Then we pulled the 2 of Diamonds, looking for a screen adaptation, and I chose Anxious People by Frederick Brockman. Then I pulled a 4 of Spades and got Genre You Don't Normally Read, and chose Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Then I pulled a Jack of Hearts, which caused me to unhaul The Games Untold. And then I pulled a Joker and had to pick a series, and I chose the 5 Broken Blades trilogy. I pulled the 5 of Spades and got the prompt potential 5 stars, and chose the Book of Unknown American. So we have a pretty stacked TBR for November. We will see how this reading goes. But with that, that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!